Today we're continuing our stroll down Fifth Avenue in St. Cloud with a look at the street's past, the present, and the future of this very important road. And today we're highlighting the west side of Fifth Avenue from St. Germain Street to First Street South, starting with the Press Bar.
And what's kind of interesting about Fifth Avenue and St. Germain is we get down, go down a little bit to Nordstrom. There's actually 3 newspapers just in like a half a block radius of this area. So this was a big commercial communications section of St. Cloud. There's a lot of news that was happening. Each paper had their own little bend. One was Republican. The Journal Press, St. Cloud Times being Democrat, and Der Nordstern kind of leaned more toward Democratic, but certainly covered a lot of Catholic and old country, so old world German news. So you got 3 different perspectives all kind of rolled into this one little block here.
And what I thought was interesting too, I mean, looking at the history of this building, it's been the Press Bar since 1942, so it has a long history as being the Press Bar on this corner. I mean, it's not a new bar by any means. It's been here for quite some time.
It has. A colleague I used to work with, probably some of your viewers would be interested, Bob Lummel, used to frequent this place once in a while on his circuit through town. So yes, this has been a bar a long time, and he used to hang out here and enjoy the customers, and he'd have his own little spot where he'd sit every time. So yeah, it had a loyal following and continues that to this day.
Yeah, let's keep moving down the street now, Steve, and talk a little bit about, can you talk about this stretch, this block between St. Germain and First Street South? I mean, clearly one thing that stands out to me is this building really has, or these buildings haven't changed, and so what was here in 1890 is pretty much still here today. 125 years later, this stretch of the block looks pretty much the same now.
For the most part, yes. So you're looking at late 1800s, 1880s, really till almost the turn of the century. So these buildings have been here a long time. Have all played a fairly big role in how St. Cloud formed. And most notably, probably to a certain extent, was the beginning, as we kind of work our way down the block, of kind of some revitalization. The buildings kind of went to a phase where they were kind of getting run down. And kind of the community gets to a point where it says, you know, maybe we should start thinking about saving some of our buildings. So this part of the block on both sides kind of plays a role as far as preservation aspect in St. Cloud.
Yeah, the next building, of course, next to the Press is the Red Carpet. We've known that as the Red Carpet building for a long time. Its official name, I guess, is the Mitchell Building, built in 1883. So that building, you know, has stood for many years.
Same thing. It's been through multiple phases during its career as well. Folks might remember the Red Carpet used to be across the street, so it used to be on the east side. But what's fun about the Red Carpet too is there's been a lot of great bands that have played there over the years. The Replacements, Martin Zeller's coming up shortly again, Gear Daddies, Big Walter Smith. So it's been a great venue to see live music, and it's been that way for a long time.
Yeah, you know, I thought it was interesting when I was doing my research for this story is that, you know, the Red Carpet takes up the entire Mitchell Building now, so it's taken over everything. But back when the Red Carpet moved into this building in 1971, they actually just had a very small segment of the building. They had just this first northern segment of the building, and then the Gates family over the years had multiple renovations, and they kept expanding. But originally, Red Carpet was just one small segment, and there was other businesses, many different businesses over the years that have encompassed this building. Correct.
Yeah, it's and a lot of these buildings, especially we got 2 on the east side, have just morphed as the economy has changed, as services have changed throughout the community and society, as new businesses would come and kind of other ones would phase out. So yeah, multiple tenants over the years in all these buildings here.
Yeah. Next to the Red Carpet building, of course, is the House of Pizza. I was looking at the research on this building. It started out, I think, as a fur trading business, if I'm not mistaken. But it's been the House of Pizza for 50 years. So a lot of people have a long history and a love of getting their House of Pizza on Fifth Avenue here since 1964.
Well, and you hear stories. We hear stories at the museum of people being proposed there, and all these kind of things, or they come back for anniversaries. It's kind of a community gathering space. As kids growing up, we went down to the House of Pizza and had our pizza there, and next generation's coming there, and of course a 50-year span. I believe they won some local awards as favorite pizza of the community and this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a real landmark in the area.
Yeah, now next to that, of course, it's a parking lot now. There were buildings there at one time, and I think we found some photos of the buildings that used to stand there. I know the Red Cross had their home there for a while. Some other businesses kind of came and went there. So some buildings don't exist anymore that used to be here, but clearly that corner was a significant corner as well.
Yes, there was the Fifth Avenue livery. Of course, people might not be familiar. When you come to town, obviously, you had a horse. So that was a place where you could bunk your horse. They would get fed. If you needed any repair work done to your wagon, etc., that would be kind of stuff you could do there. Some of these places had lodging accommodations, so you could, hey, I'm tired. Been on the trail for a while. I need a place to sleep. So kind of a multi-purpose travel lodge.
There isn't room for a lot of new development along Fifth Avenue, but St. Cloud Planning Director Mac Laisman says the city would like to see a developer come up with a project on the current Riverboat parking lot site next to the House of Pizza.
Well, certainly as we talk about the future of downtown, surface parking lots really isn't in that downtown fabric, so there is redevelopment potential on this property. The current comprehensive plan identifies some of the larger opportunities that exist, but ultimately these kinds of corner properties that we own are becoming available and at some point will be developed. Another example is the Lofts project that's upcoming, where we had it temporarily as a surface parking lot, but now it's becoming something different.
Okay, so what does that mean, Matt? Obviously, if somebody comes to you with an idea for this parking lot, you're all ears. Is that what you're saying? Or?
Exactly. We're really open to ideas that would come forward at this point. If we don't have that interest in the near future, we may issue an RFP where we seek any and all interested parties, really talk about the opportunity and see who comes to us. But we've had over time folks that ask about each of these vacant lots.
Coming up tomorrow, we'll cross the street and look at the history of the east side of Fifth Avenue from 1st Street South down to St. Germain Street, including checking out the old Grand Central Hotel. Jim Maurice, WJON.